Dun, 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 dun. Okay, everybody, was this episode of Ahsoka, episode 5, the best Star Wars episode ever? I don't know. Find out today here on Two Geeks and a Microphone.
You talk first. I talk first.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Two Geeks and a Microphone show. I am your co-host, Mr. Stephen Boster, along with the one, the only Mr. Michael Shanks. Mike, say hey to everybody.
Good morning to all you geeks out there in Geekdom Land.
Dun, 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 dun. All right, everybody. Today we are going to talk about Ahsoka, the latest episode, and we have been biting our tongues ever since it aired Tuesday night. So,
mine's got teeth marks in my tongue.
You want to talk about save it for the podcast? That's what we have done, and so we're excited to get into that later here in just a few moments and stuff. Mike, I'm surprised you didn't text me all the time.
Well, I was out camping, dude. I mean,
well, that's true too. That's true. You were.
Otherwise, I probably would have texted you more. Actually, I was talking back and forth to our friends Zig and Jeff a lot, though.
Right.
So we've been planning something over my vacation with our friends over at Nerdery and Murdery. So look for a crossover between Two Geeks and a Microphone and Nerdery and Murdery coming very soon.
Right on.
I won't give away all the details yet, but
yeah, we'll have more info soon. Love our friends from. Wait, where's the?
Do you got their mug?
I do, but I did something. Oh, here it is, right here. Our friends Nerdery and Murdery.
Nice. And see, they gave you the red one, and I got the black one.
Oh yeah, the red inside. Yeah,
yeah, and the red handle, which is pretty cool. Right. And then, of course, we have mugs kind of like that too.
That we do, except actually, I got the black one right now.
Well, you have the original, but we have a new one. We have new ones where you can get red,
color,
blue, yellow, different colors you can choose. So they're pretty nice. Go check those out at twogeeksmike.com.
Yeah, check out our merch page, everybody. There's fun stuff there.
A little early for that. Okay, you ready to jump into some geeky news?
Yes, let's do this.
All right. So geeky news today. This kind of came up on the show not too long ago because I had recently discovered that I didn't know this, that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fans consider the origin of the Turtles and Daredevil to basically cross over. And I'd never heard that theory until a couple months ago. I thought it was a great theory. Really enjoyed that. In fact, I said, yeah, that's going in my head canon of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. But it turns out that the maker of one of the makers of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, TMNT, Kevin Eastman, has said that they're very well possibly, see, this is kind of a gotcha headline, because when I first saw it, I freaked out. I saw this Tuesday this week or something like that, and I saw it and I freaked out. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's coming, a crossover between Daredevil and the TMNT, because we've had the crossover with Batman, which was great. I loved it. In fact, there have been 4 crossovers with Batman. Didn't realize that until I read this. But according to this article, Kevin Eastman says that he is hopeful that a TMNT crossover with Daredevil will happen because the fact that he has done some work for Marvel recently, and more specifically, he has done Daredevil work for Marvel. So
cool.
I am very hopeful that this will happen. I would love to see a crossover between the two universes. I think that would be great. And then they could make it official that the ooze that the turtles run into is the same as what affects Daredevil and makes him into who he is. I think that would be What do you think, Steven?
I will leave it when I see it.
Well, I mean, that's coming from the creator himself. That's not like just comicbooknews.com just saying it's going to happen. That's,
right.
So I'm hopeful. Other than that, I have other geeky news, and that would be the fact that today is Batman Day. Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm wearing my Batman t-shirt to represent Batman Day. So
right on.
Those of you might be asking, Batman Day falls on the third Saturday of every September as of 2014. That's when DC Comics announced or officially made the third Saturday in September officially Batman Day. And they did that to coincide both with the release of the Dark Knight movie, Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight, and with the 75th anniversary of Batman. So, if you're a Batman fan, do something cool Batman today. My recommendations: pick up a good comic book, read a good Batman comic book. I would recommend either Killing Joke, Death in the Family, Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, or The Three Jokers. And as far as movies wise goes, I would recommend 1989 Batman, and of course,
No, I'm just kidding.
Stop it before I throw something at you. Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight. Those are my top two Batman movies. So
I would start with Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight.
Well, I would start with the 89 Batman. Because after all, Michael Keaton, he is. I'm Batman.
Excuse me, did you say something? I was clearing my throat there.
Yeah. Christopher Nolan just wears hockey pads.
That's wearing hockey pads. Yep. So, yep. So anyway, yeah. Okay. Sounds good to me. Love me some Batman though. If it's Batman Day, what would I watch? Let's see. Would you count the latest The Batman movie worthy of seeing?
Well,
again,
any Batman movie you enjoy. Well, okay. No, let me back up on that. Don't watch Batman and Robin, and don't watch Batman. Well, Batman Forever, I guess I can slightly. Don't watch Batman and Robin. No, I mean, I enjoy the Batman. I think it's a good movie. I think Chris Pattinson did a very good job as the Batman. I even liked the commissioner in that one. I thought he was really good. I'm not the biggest...
Chris. Did you say Chris? Robert Pattinson.
Did I say? I'm sorry. Robert Pattinson. I'm sorry. He did a good job though. I don't care for the Riddler much in that one though.
It was weird.
He doesn't feel like the Riddler to me, and he's okay, but Batman's great. The Batmobile is great. It's not my favorite Batmobile because to me it's more of just a hot rod, but it is a cool freaking car. I mean, I got to give credence where it's due, and man, that car is freaking awesome. I don't know if I can quite call it the Batmobile, but man, it's such a cool car.
It's early on. It's his second year or third year or whatever.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the year 2 of the Batman.
Yeah, year 2. So, he's getting it developed. He's I'm sure we'll get.
Oh, I know. I get it. I just felt it fit more in, what's the Van Damme movies? The Hot Rod movies. Fast and Furious.
Oh, Vin Diesel.
Yeah, Vin Diesel. I felt it fit more into the Fast and Furious series than it did the Batman series, but
Sure.
it's
Okay.
a freaking cool car.
That it is.
Can't deny that one bit.
Batman.
So do something Batman today.
Maybe I'll get nostalgic and I'll go back and watch an episode of the Adam West Batman, what we grew up with.
Oh, that'd be great too. Just go back and watch the 66 movie.
With the shark on the ladder.
Yeah, of course. Bat shark repellent, man.
Yeah, that's right.
A few years back, well, it's been more than a few years back, several years back, the Blues were in the playoffs and they were playing the Sharks, San Jose Sharks. And I mocked up a picture of the super cool, one of the high end action figure companies where they do the large, like 12-inch, action figures that look identical. I swear it looks like you're looking at the character actually.
Okay.
Themselves. Anyway, they did one of the Adam West Batman, which is a fantastic action figure, by the way. And they've got him holding the shark
repellent.
Yeah. and so I mocked that up and I put the blue symbol on Batman's chest instead of Batman, instead of the bat symbol and everything. And I said, watch it, sharks, we're coming for you. That was not the year we won the Stanley Cup, though, by the way. We did go on to win the Stanley Cup in 2019, though. Anyway, so done with hockey talk.
Sounds good. All right, let's do this.
All right, we ready for the main event?
Please. I'm busting at the seams.
Yeah, we're going to skip Geekdar today. Neither one of us really have Geekdar, and let's jump right into it.
It's time for the main event. Okay. All right.
No, it's dun dun dun
dun dun dun dun dun. Okay, Mr. Mike. I got to hear it. What are your thoughts? Come on. Give me your overall here.
Oh, this episode was horrible.
Horribly good.
Horribly good. Wow. I'm not sure how Filoni's going to top this episode. This freaking episode blew my mind. I was kind of actually disappointed that I couldn't see it in the theaters. This would have been amazing to see in the theaters. And those of you who got to, wow.
I'm jealous. I'm jelly.
A little jealous of.
Well, yeah. Can I speak to that for just a second? The theater thing. I said, they're going to show one in the theater. And I'm thinking, that's kind of interesting. That'd be kind of cool to go see, but I don't know. After seeing this, see it in a theater would have been incredible.
Yeah. I kind of said the same thing. Like I said, for the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, they showed that one in the theaters. But Doctor Who was like an hour and a half, somewhere around there. Mm-hmm. And then they had little extras and stuff. They had this fun thing with Matt Smith coming in and talking about Doctor Who and stuff like that. That was fun. And I'm sitting here going, well, yeah, but Ahsoka tends to be like 30 minutes long. I can't see going to the movie theater just to see a 30-minute episode.
Right.
Now, granted, it was only 38 minutes. It was 38 minutes long in running time, and I would have been blown away in the theater for this. It just blew my mind.
Really? It was only 38 minutes?
Yeah. Runtime was about 38 minutes on this. Maybe 40.
If you start it from the beginning with the recap, just before it hits credits, it is at 46 minutes.
Oh, 46. Okay. All right.
So if you take off the recap, that's 2 minutes. So it was 44 minutes.
Well, and of course you got 5 minutes of commercials too, of credits also. So,
Right. No, I took off the credits.
Oh, you did? Okay. I was going to say, because
44 minutes without credits and without the intro.
Because I mean, they make the credits in like every language they possibly can, including Alien and Arabish. So
right,
it's like, oh my gosh, who reads all those?
Right.
Even us super fans don't
right.
read most of the credits. Not until we start looking for something. Then we're like, oh, wait a minute, we got to see who.
We got to go back, right?
Other than that, we're not paying attention to the credits that much. Not while it's happening. There's
right.
But yeah, this freaking blew my mind. And to think, what could Filoni have done with like $200 million budget and 2 to 3 hour movie?
Right. Well, it kind of is. I mean,
it's
only 8 episodes.
He doesn't have the budget for that a movie's getting. They're not.
Oh, sure, absolutely correct.
And okay, I also have to retract. Well, not retract, but kind of go back on something that I had said last episode. I did complain a little bit about the look of Anakin in the last episode, and I stand by that. I think his look was still a little odd. This time, yeah, they had him spot on. So I think Dave saved all the money for this episode.
Right.
And put the extra work into this one. And it paid off. It was well worth it. Anakin looked incredible throughout this. I got one of Mike's wish list for Ahsoka. I got Anakin in General Anakin's Clone Wars gear. So happy about that. We got scenes from the Clone Wars. We saw the clone troopers. We saw Captain freaking Rex.
Yep.
Awesome.
I heard him say it. Yep.
So cool. And probably the biggest surprise of the episode, young live action, young Ahsoka. Amazing. All I can say is give me more. I want more.
If you had to rate this one, what would you rate it?
Okay. So ratings, we're going to go. My wife wanted us to go with Purgles because, the Purgles were a big part of the episode, but we've already done Purgles. So Steven and I discussed this. We are going to go with Clone Troopers because we figured Clone Troopers was also a big integral part of this episode. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm giving this 10 Clone Troopers.
Nice.
And I don't hand out 10s easily.
Yeah. It's so funny because last week I gave it a 10 for the last episode because I really enjoyed it. And then when we got to this one, I was like, oh, this one's even better. So I'll give it 10 Clone Troopers with 1 extra Captain Rex added to it.
At first, I thought you were going to say you'll throw in a Purgle.
You're right. And I'll see your Captain Rex, and I'll add a Purgle.
There you go. Yeah, this is easily a 10. I mean, wow, this just blew my mind. This could have been a whole movie, literally, and we could have you could have just given me Anakin and young Ahsoka on a Clone Wars adventure and just completely thrown the story out, and I still would have been thrilled just with those two.
Right.
And as far as Anakin goes, I really felt that Christian Haydenson was channeling Matt Lanter. Okay. So Christian Haydenson.
You mean Hayden Christensen?
Yeah, Hayden Christensen. He, he's the actor who portrays Anakin Skywalker in the prequels, and he did in here also. But Matt Lanter is the voice of Anakin throughout the Clone Wars. And, there's been a lot of people who have been like, look, Matt Lanter is my Anakin. I like both of them. I enjoy both of them. But I felt that over the years, Matt really got a chance to flesh out the character a lot more than what Hayden got to. And and he really kind of became the definitive version of Anakin Skywalker, in my opinion. And I really feel that Hayden was channeling Matt Lanter through this, because the cadence of his voice sounded a little bit more like the Matt Lantern version of Anakin. So I felt like we got the best of both worlds with this. You know, we almost got the acting of Matt Lantern, but we got the physicality of Hayden Christensen.
Our wonderful friends at Nerdery and Murdery. Hey, we mentioned you guys earlier.
Matt had better writing. Yeah, that's true.
Agree.
That's true. That's because Matt also was, that was Filoni doing a lot of that too. But George was involved. George was involved because Clone Wars was his baby. So
yeah,
we can't take that away.
I don't know if channel Matt Lanter or not, but I will say this: it was a great opportunity to see Hayden under a different director than George Lucas, because you've got to realize, I mean, he did everything George asked him to do in those films, just like any director. He follows the director's wishes. But I agree with you. There seemed to be more fleshed out, more to provide more opportunity, in the mystique of his character, of who he is, that happened in this episode. I'm down for. I mean, just wait a minute, who is he? What is he? Is he a Force ghost? Is he not? Is he, I mean, I've heard all the theories, is he a Mortis god now, or is he the protector of the realm, of the world between worlds, or I'm just, the mystery box surrounding who Anakin is now, and that relationship with Ahsoka now, I'm really intrigued in.
So Murray, I'm not sure if it's Jeff or Zig who's commenting right now, but they said love George Lucas, but his dialogue's never been his strong suit. And I agree with that. I totally agree with that. Now, I'm going to defend Hayden just for a second, because I seen something release. Morning, Zig. Thanks for joining us. I seen something recently that defended Hayden in his acting during the episode 2 and 3. And they made the comment that if you actually listen very closely to Hayden's dialogue and you compare it to Darth Vader's dialogue, he was matching the cadence of Darth Vader, is what he was doing. That's why you kind of get this long and strung out and, cadence that he does. And some people write that off as bad acting, but when you think about it, and the fact that he needed to match what the way Darth Vader was talking, I think that's actually pretty darn good acting, So I will defend Hayden a little bit on that. And again, I like Hayden Christensen. I think he was a great Anakin. He can't help it that, people didn't like the lines he was given. And yes, I know the worst line in all of the prequels: sand. I hate sand. It's coarse and it's rough and it gets everywhere. Yes, it was horrible. I agree with that. But he was a good Anakin. So that's all I'm going to say on it.
That's all I got to say about that. Right. Well, it was just so good to see that. It really had you chomping at the bit at the end of episode 4, because you were like, what just happened? Kind of a thing. And then all the theories started and people talking about it and stuff. I do want to get your input on this real quick on what do you think Anakin is here? So is it Anakin one with the Force? Is he a Mortis god? Is he just protector of the world between worlds, or he's coming back? He doesn't have the blue of being a Force ghost, but again, he is in the world between worlds. What is he? What's your opinion?
I'm still not convinced. I'm not 100% sure what exactly we just saw. I mean, I don't believe he's a Mortis god. I don't believe that at all. I do believe that Anakin was the chosen one, and I believe that holds true to this day.
Now, what for those that may not know, what is a Mortis god?
Well, the Mortis gods, so that goes back to the Clone Wars series, and you had the Mortis trilogy, where
3 episodes.
Yeah, it was 3 episodes where Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka come across this unknown realm. I'm not even really sure what you call that. And they meet these 3 beings known as the Father, the Son, and the Daughter. And they seem to basically control the Force. And like they're like completely in charge of everything as far as the Force goes. So they are considered the Mortis gods, and they are also featured in Rebels because you see them in one of the murals, and that's how Ezra, he uses that mural of the Mortis gods to get into the world between worlds. Which now Ahsoka, she was drawn in. She was just pulled into this.
In Rebels, she was pulled in.
That's true.
I think even this episode, she was pulled in. What do you think?
I know she was pulled in this
episode.
That there's no doubt. Because like Anakin said, she's like, well, what am I doing here? Well, you lost a fight. That's what you're doing here. And I'm pretty sure Anakin pulled her in because she was going to die if he didn't. And he basically rescued her for the most part. Now, we get this whole kind of weird Anakin, Darth Vader, because we get that beautiful scene where Anakin's walking back into the battle in the center of the clone troopers. And then you see that flash between Anakin and Vader. And it's like, oh, that was good. And then there's even the flash between Anakin and Vader when the two of them are dueling. And it's just mind boggling. It's like, whoa, what is going on here? You know, I want to believe this is Anakin post redemption. I want to believe this is Force Ghost.
I can go with that. Yeah. Cause he's aware.
Yeah. He's aware of what's going on. And he, like he said, I'm here to finish your training. I'm not really sure you could call that finishing her training or just giving her a really good lesson.
Yes, agreed. I liked it was the move from survive to be alive, if that makes sense, to live. Where
he said you have a choice to live or to die.
Right. Now we'll say this. I have to say, one of my great concerns that I talked about earlier was she seems so stoic or grumpy or moody or, that, the whole, just kind of, yes, Brenda, thrive would be good. Survive and thrive.
Survive and thrive. Yes.
I will say this, that it was neat to see by the end of this episode when she made the choice to live that her whole emotional countenance changed. So it's all part of the character arc. So where she was like, hey, I will be, and I'm going to, how shall I say, she's all kind of stoic. And then when she chooses to live, so when she was Ahsoka the Grey, she was just kind of.
I like how you state that.
She was just all kind of I'm just surviving. And then when she comes back, she seems more purposeful, more
when she comes
alive.
Back as Ahsoka the White.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Very, very Lord of the Rings-ish, and a lot of people were predicting we were going to get the white the white cloaked Ahsoka, white Ahsoka, however you want to say it, just
Ahsoka
like
the White.
Yeah, Ahsoka the white, just like Gandalf the gray, Gandalf the white, and such. Zig said it could be a penance, and I kind of agree with that too. That this whole thing in the world
between worlds, his penance, or the full extent of him being the chosen one of the Force, by the Force, and nothing but the Force. I'm just kidding.
All the Force, all the time. I don't know. Maybe that's his way of finishing off being the chosen one too, where he's leading her on this crusade. You know, I don't know. Maybe that's that. Maybe it's both for him and for her. Who knows? Although we still get those little Darth Vader moments, and that's where I'm like, wait a minute, which side is he on? I mean, we even see his eyes turn yellow and everything.
The Sith eyes pop up. Yeah.
Sith eyes and stuff. Now, some people claimed that they saw Ahsoka's eyes change.
Yes.
And I think we're just seeing the reflection of the lightsaber. I don't think we're seeing her. Nah.
Nope. I think we see her eyes.
I disagree. I mean, well, yeah, we see her eyes.
All right, give me a second.
I don't think we're seeing Sith eyes. I think we're just seeing the reflection of red in her eyes. I don't believe we're seeing.
All right. Let me see if I can freeze it.
Okay. All right.
Let me see. Here we go.
Trying to die.
And there they go.
I can't see it.
You can't see it?
No, I can't.
I'm sorry.
It's so dark, and
they change. Even Star Wars Theory was kind of like where you were, where he was like, I didn't think so. All you guys were saying they changed, but then I went in there and I looked, and sure enough,
I think he's been hoodwinked by everyone.
No, I say they changed.
I'm not buying it. Ahsoka I think she's pure. I think she's pure. I don't think we have any evil in Ahsoka. And I want to keep her that way.
Yeah. Here, let me see if I can take I want to take a picture of it and then lighten it up, see if I can share it real quick. But anyway, keep going, keep talking.
Well, I kind of wanted to go back to Grumpy Ahsoka for a second there.
Oh yeah, sure.
And I agreed with that totally. That in the beginning of the series, all we got was pretty much Grumpy Ahsoka with her arms crossed and the stoic face and that kind of thing. And by the end of this, we had our more of a happy-go-lucky Ahsoka that we have grown to love throughout the years. And I am thrilled to see that.
Agreed.
I like to see Ahsoka smiling and happy. I'm not saying she can't ever have, dark moments. Of course she can. Oh, look at that. He's got it zoomed in pretty good there. All right. Let's see. Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe.
I say they're changed. That's about as close as I can get.
I don't know. I can see where you think that. I don't know. Well, I guess I'm official from Dave Filoni. You won't believe that the Turtles and Daredevil have the same origin. So, and I'm getting that straight from the creator of the Turtles. Where are you getting yours from?
Right,
you're getting yours from fan theories.
I saw the picture of it. I'm telling you.
And you didn't like my fan theories of Marok, so it did turn out to be wrong, by the way.
Brenda said maybe grumpy Ahsoka had PMS.
Oh! PMS Ahsoka.
Nerdy or Murdy Zig said maybe it's meant to be up in the air.
I think most of the time this stuff is, and I think Filoni would be smart to just let it go and let us debate it for years to come. That's what Stan Lee has always said. Years ago, he said that when you have two heroes fight, you never tell who could definitively win, because the fans will debate it for years to come. So.
Right.
This could be one of those moments that we just debate for years and years and years. Nope, her eyes were Sith. No, they weren't.
Her eyes are Sith. Her eyes are Sith.
No, they weren't.
We're going to debate it for years to come. Listen, I challenge anybody. Go watch it, freeze it, take a look. I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying. I just don't agree with you. That's all. Look, I want my Ahsoka to be good. I like her to be good.
I think it's the point of she's coming to grips. The only reason I bring this up is in the big picture, I think the aspect of balance, the whole thing with balance in the Force, and her biggest issue.
You must have balance in the Force,
right? Her biggest issue in this episode was, you're going to be. What does she say? You're going to be more dangerous than anyone ever realized. And he goes, that's what this is about, kind of a thing. And her fear of, there's a certain fear it seemed that she has about who she is. And if you remember last week, what did Baylan Skoll tell her? He said, your legacy and that of your masters is one of death and destruction. And I think that haunts her. And so
that's also coming from who one we believe to be a Sith, and the Sith are always going to plant seeds in your mind of fear and doubt, because that's what leads you to the dark side.
Understood. And that's my point, because then that's the whole thing of what she did fear. And playing
leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
So with that, I think that's the whole thing with her eyes changing, is coming to grips with that and moving beyond it. So it's more balance oriented, not her being a Sith, is my point.
All right. Well, and the turtles still have the same origin as Daredevil. That's my point. So
I hear you. Okay.
It really doesn't matter that much, I don't think.
I just think it's a really cool aspect. It's something I think for me I really enjoyed that and seeing that. So
I really enjoyed this whole scene altogether. I mean,
yeah,
it was pretty mind blowing having Anakin back and have him with Ahsoka in live action. The two of them dueling, it was just total eye candy. It really, really was. It was amazing. And I am totally jealous of anyone who got to see it in the movie theaters. If you got to see it in the theaters, please put in the comments somewhere that you did and how cool it was to see it on the big screen, because this would have been freaking amazing. All this does is make me really excited for the film that Filoni is going to get after all this is said and done. Because they've already said this is all culminating into a movie for Dave Filoni. And if he can do with the movie what he did with this episode, that movie could be one of the best Star Wars movies ever, in my opinion.
Agreed.
So, I don't know what else to say on that.
That's all right. Brenda asked, "Do people dress up?" Yeah, I'd like to know that too. If people dress up for the Ahsoka events, movie events, I bet you there were.
I'm sure there were.
Cool to see.
I mean, for the 50th Doctor Who thing, there were plenty of people that dressed up for that. So I would assume people dressed. They dressed up for a regular movie release. So yeah, I'm sure they did. I'm sure there were Ahsokas there. I'm sure there were Anakins there, and Heck, there might have been even some Balin skulls or Shin Hati
Mhm.
to make our friend Andrew very happy,
Right.
who has a crush on Shin Hati. I think that's so funny. He's crushing on her so bad.
Yep. So what for you, what was your favorite part of the whole episode? There's several. And then I have one other question later on about your thoughts about Ahsoka the White and what that means.
Well, it's just hard to say because, again, we've got the battle between Ahsoka and Anakin, which was just mind blowing,
Mhm.
and then we go into certain battles, which I mean, those were straight out of Clone Wars animated. Those battle scenes
to see it all live action. Yeah.
To see it live action, to see her interacting with Captain Rex. Oh my gosh. It's just
that young actress was fabulous.
Do you know who she is?
Not personally.
That is young Gamora from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, really?
Yeah. She also played young Gamora when we see the youthful, the kid Gamora. That's her.
Okay.
And I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, oh wow, that's neat. So she made the jump from Marvel over to Star Wars, and she got a great part in both series, in my opinion. That was incredible.
Yeah.
But yeah, seeing Captain Rex, I would have loved to seen more of that. That was cool. Oh no, I'm forgetting something. Siege of Mandalore and Maldalorians.
Maldalorians.
I never thought I would see live action Maldalorians ever, and that was awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I did that wrong. Hold on. I forgot to put something up here. I gotta do this. That was totally wicked. I had it all ready for us, and I forgot all about it. That's pretty much the way I felt as soon as this episode finished. I felt like the little kid from Incredibles. That was totally wicked. Excellent. Oh man. So, and then we get the moment when Ahsoka comes back. Well, before that, we've got Hera, who is, still on the planet,
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember what planet they were on, but where they were kind of left. And Jason, did you catch that? When Jason is like, listen, Mom, I can hear something.
Mm-hmm.
And Hera's like, what does he hear? And then he goes, I hear them fighting. Now, I'll admit, when I was first watching it, I thought he was hearing the ghosts of the past, and I thought he was hearing Ahsoka battling with Balin Skull.
What's that power called? The psychometry? I think that's what it's called. So
well,
Jedi power psychometry, where they
Yoda talks about it in The Empire Strikes Back. He said that you will see ghosts of the past, you will see visions of the future. Visions of the future, of course, are all emotion. So it's hard to tell what's actually true in the future visions, but the past has already happened. So I was thinking that he was seeing he was seeing current times. Brenda pointed out to me, she's like, no. He's actually seeing the battle happening between Ahsoka and Anakin right now. And it's like, oh wow, you're right. He is. That's awesome, actually. But in that moment, I looked at her and I go, there's Ahsoka's freaking apprentice, not Sabine. It should be Jason. Jason should be her apprentice, because he's the one that's force sensitive. He's the one that's already starting to feel things and stuff. So drop Sabine like a hot potato and just scoop up Jason. Come on. That's where your training's at. So, and I'm kind of hoping that she does, because at the end there, he tells Ahsoka, I heard you. Who are you fighting? And Ahsoka's like, whoa, wait a minute, you heard that?
Right.
And I see the wheels turning in her head. Okay, well, we're going to drop Sabine and we're going to take Jason because Sabine, she's going nowhere. Give her back to the Mandalorians. And let's take on a real Jedi. Because she's no Jedi. Stop with this stuff of her having the Force. Let's go with someone who actually is established, who has the Force, and he has it from birth. So.
It'll be. I am interested to see where they go. I am interested to see where they go with Sabine and, yeah. I can see that, because even Sabine is not really into it. Kind of a thing. She didn't keep up with her exercises or anything like that.
Right.
And I think she can be sensitive, like we talked about last time, like the, what's his name from Rogue One? I am one with the Force and the Force is with me. I can get that. That makes
he's more sensitive than Sabine is.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that too.
Yeah.
Because he's a martial artist and he's just freaking awesome and amazing, I'm fine with him being a very light, Force sensitive, but Sabine just drives me up a wall. Just make her a Mandalorian. That's what she is. Stick with her Mandalorian roots.
Agreed. Agreed. Hi, Angie. I didn't get a chance to say hi yet. Angie says she acts like she prefers her Mando life anyways. I like that. Yeah.
I prefer her Mando life. I agree with that totally, Angie.
Yeah.
But I also loved when Hera and Ahsoka kind of need a minute, and they're like, let's have Jason go off into the starship, and Huang, take Jason on the tour of the starship. I've seen a starfighter before, Mom. And then Ahsoka goes, but have you seen a Jedi starfighter? And then he's like, oh yeah, you're right, Jedi. I want to be a Jedi. See, he wants to be a Jedi.
Let's show you the training room.
Yeah, that was great. Are you going to train me? No. I'll show you the lightsabers. Are you gonna help me make a lightsaber? Nope.
You're right.
I was waiting for not yet.
Right.
That's what I would have liked him to say as they're walking up. Well, not yet. Because when Lady Tano decides to take you on and drop Sabine like a hot potato, that's when I'll start training. It's coming. It's coming.
It's just learning to fight. That's what I view it as, is just learning to fight. So Sabine will have her place. I mean,
except when she's trying to force choke another Force user, and the other Force user laughs at her. or force. She probably force pushing was what she was trying to do. Not
right.
Joke, but
right. You have no power.
Exactly.
Right.
She doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh, I totally agree, Angie.
So here's what Angie says, everybody. This episode was my favorite in any show by far. And when I alluded to at the very beginning in the opening was, do you think it's the best Star Wars episode of any of these Star Wars episodes? Now, not the movies per se. We can get into that.
Well, no. I would not go as far as the movies, but as far as Disney Star Wars television goes, yeah, I don't think I could say it any more clear than that.
That was totally wicked.
That was totally wicked.
Yeah.
To quote the little kid from Incredibles. Yes. I think this was by far the best that Disney television has had to offer. And that's coming from a huge fan of the Mandalorian series. I love the Mandalorian series. But this, I think, blew away every episode of Mandalorian. I can't think of a Mandalorian episode that quite touches this one. So.
Yep. It is the most Star Wars, George Lucas era Star Wars episode ever of the Disney Plus shows. I mean, obviously it's Dave Filoni through and through.
Right.
Kind of thing. But as far as in the realm of Star Wars, I felt like I was a kid again, back with the whole Star Wars, the mythos of Star Wars. That was the Jedi, the lightsabers, the coming to terms with who we are, story. I love the lesson for her on, are you surviving or are you going to live? Are you just moving from that Ahsoka the Gray to Ahsoka the White? And so I want to get your thoughts on, what do you think Ahsoka the Gray to Ahsoka the White? What does that mean?
Well, I think we are looking at our more hopeful Ahsoka. I'm positive we've seen that, because we see that at the end when she reveals that she's going to use the Purgles to get to where Thrawn and Ezra are at, where our antagonists have went. And when Huang looks at her and says, what's the plan? There is no plan. Are we going to get there? I don't know. And a big smile on her face. And I was taken back to the Ashley Eckstein version of Ahsoka, and that hopeful, Ahsoka, who was more, she was more hopeful in the Force, more trusting in the Force is the way I felt this one was. And I think that's what we're about to see. We're about to see someone who's much more trusting in the Force and believing in herself a lot more, and her abilities to possibly train somebody in the future. That's what I think we're heading into. And I think that was the point of Anakin, because Anakin makes the comment to her about one day when you get your own Padawan, and she's like, I don't want a Padawan. And he's like, wouldn't you want a Padawan? Which is kind of funny, because he didn't want a Padawan either.
Right. Totally didn't want one. I remember all that. Yeah.
Of course, this also takes me back to, there's a great story with Dave Filoni, and he and George are discussing the makings of the Clone Wars, the animated series. And they're sitting down and just kind of laying down what exactly the Clone Wars is. Okay. And George looks at Dave and he goes, now Anakin has a Padawan. And Dave looks back at George and goes, I can't do Dave's voice. I wished I could, but he just looks back at George and goes, but George, Anakin doesn't have a Padawan. And then George looks at Dave again and goes, okay, Anakin has a Padawan. And Dave looks back at George again and goes, but George, Anakin doesn't have a Padawan. And George gives him a look and goes, Anakin has a Padawan. And Dave finally gets it and goes, oh, wait, this is the maker. Yeah, Anakin has a Padawan. And stops arguing with it.
Right.
I love that story. I think it's an incredible story. But yeah, this kind of goes back to that, and the fact that, Anakin didn't want a Padawan in the beginning either, because Yoda introduces him to Ahsoka, and he's just like, what? I don't want anyone tagging along with me. I want to be able to be free and do what I do and stuff, and not have somebody pulling me down and everything. But he learned that, it was a good thing to have somebody to pass on your knowledge to. And like he says in this episode, you're part of a legacy, I'm part of the legacy of my master, Obi-Wan, and Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan is the legacy of Qui-Gon, and so on and so forth. So, he's like, you're a part of this legacy. And I think that says a lot about Ahsoka, and I think that legacy is what goes on in the future. And I think that's what proves Baylan Skoll wrong, where he says that your legacy is that of destruction and death.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is Anakin's way of telling Ahsoka, no, your legacy is more than that. And it is what you make it to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you're about to find that out. So,
yeah.
That's what I think.
I like it. Do you think she'll be more powerful? She's more powerful now?
I think she's becoming more powerful.
Like going through a crucible kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I don't foresee her being as powerful as Anakin. You know what I mean? I imagine Anakin's still the most powerful Jedi. And I kind of hope it stays that way. I like him,
Yeah.
Because that is his legacy also.
Well, you remember, I agree. Sorry. My brain was thinking, I totally agree that he should be the most powerful Jedi. What I am looking forward to.
He is the chosen one. So.
Yes, agreed. I think for me, we are now getting to see a Jedi in full form, in full ability, in full power. And what I mean by that is I remember that at the end of the second season of Mando, and we got to see Luke Skywalker. And to see the abilities, the full-fledged abilities, because that's really what I wanted to see in The Last Jedi. Here's the Jedi Master Luke, and we got some stuff, but I mean, I was just like, okay, but and whichever Luke it is that you say it is,
Jake Skywalker. That's what Mark Hamill says. That is his baby right there.
Right.
He calls that version of Luke Jake, so because he says that's not his Luke Skywalker.
Yeah. So I think with Ahsoka, what we got last week with the fight that was with Baylan Skoll was just epic. It was great. And then seeing now it kicked up a notch with her and Anakin. And you got to see Anakin do the moves that he did in Revenge of the Sith. Who's the fight choreographer, Nick Gilliard or something like that. So you got to see those same moves. And I thought that was really interesting. And then now we're going to get to see Ahsoka in a very much how shall I say, just a full-fledged Jedi doing their thing.
Oh, gosh. I think Ahsoka is going to be amazing throughout the rest of this. I'm really happy with where they're heading with it. I was a little concerned in the beginning, with grumpy Ahsoka. Jake Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Jasoka. But I think, unlike what's his face that did The Last Jedi, unlike Ruin Johnson, Dave Filoni actually has a place to go with the character, where Ruin Johnson had no place to go. He didn't know what he was doing. He didn't understand the characters. He doesn't understand Star Wars. He doesn't get it. And Dave Filoni does. Dave Filoni was handpicked by George Lucas. He is George Lucas's Padawan, and he was a Jake Soka attorney at law. That's what Nerdery Murder said. That's what Zig said. Sorry, that was funny. Jake Soka, attorney at law. I like that. But yeah, I think Filoni actually has direction. He knows where he's going with the character, and I think that is the difference. So even though us fans in the beginning, we didn't quite understand it, now we're starting to see it. Now it's starting to pay off, and we understand where he's going with this. And I am so along for the ride. I can't wait.
Oh, I know. Right. So we have how many more episodes now? 3.
Yeah. 3 episodes. Now I don't know if they plan on doing the last two together,
right?
or I haven't heard yet. So, which means we might have to readjust our recording schedule if that happens.
Right. So Angie agrees with you about Filoni. Filoni says to all other writers and directors,
hold my beer. Darn right.
Oh gosh.
They should have just handed it to him to begin with. If we would have just left it to him and what's his face? Happy.
Yeah. I think we
would have been in good hands.
The thing that we're seeing even with Dave Filoni is over the years, we've seen this progression of, he did the Clone Wars. He got to actually direct some episodes of Mandalorian. Now he's doing this whole series. I think it's it's all leading up to what you were talking about earlier, was the whole thing about him having a movie. And then how is he going to do a movie? Big budget and the whole bit. That would be really cool.
Angie said he needs a promotion. Actually, he's had several promotions within the company. So they know what they got. They recognize his talent and who he is. And what you just said there, Stephen, they have been gearing him up to the movies and getting him ready, because he's never done a live action movie before. But this, I think this is perf. He can handle it. He can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So. Agreed. I didn't think he could top episode 4, but episode 5 totally topped it.
Yeah. Now, how does he top this one?
I know, right?
It's like, oh crap, where do we go? Where do we go?
Right.
I know we're going to have the reveal of Thrawn soon.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll start to see what kind of threat Thrawn really is to the universe, because a lot of people don't know who Thrawn is. They don't read the books, you and I have read the original Thrawn trilogy, and I've read several of the new Thrawn books, and I am a huge fan of Thrawn, and I get it. I get what kind of threat he can be, but there's a lot of fans out there who just don't. Who is this blue guy, and why is he such a threat? And Filoni's going to get a chance to establish that, and I look forward to what Filoni's going to do with Thrawn. I think it's going to be incredible. And I know that there have been some things that even Timothy Zahn was told when he was asked to come back. We want you to start writing Thrawn again. Oh, and by the way, we're also going to put Thrawn into the animated series Rebels, which he was thrilled about, but then there were certain things they're like, you can't, and he hasn't stated what they are, but he's like, I was told I can't touch this, and I can't touch this, and I can't touch this, because Disney has said that those things are put aside, and I'm not allowed to delve into those. So there's certain areas, even though he's created the character is fully his, as far as the creation goes, but Disney and Lucasfilms owns that character, and they get to set down the guidelines. So apparently there were certain things that Filoni and them had been sitting down and talking about of what Thrawn was supposed to do. And Timothy Zahn was said, I was told you can't touch these in the books. So, but I think we're in for a good ride. I'm looking forward to these next 3 episodes and seeing where Filoni goes with this, because it's going to be awesome.
Like I said, my brain went to, it's going to be a good ride. Yeah, good Purgle ride.
Nice.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, anything else that you want to chime in about the episode?
This was a fantastic episode. Again, if you got to see it in the theaters, I'm jealous, because I wished I could have seen this. It would have been beautiful on the big screen. I am so glad we've got Ahsoka the White, and the more upbeat Ahsoka back. I like seeing her smile. It's nice.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of that scowl and the
arms crossed the whole time.
All the time.
Right.
It's good to see a more hopeful Ahsoka. It takes me back to the Clone Wars days, and I'm just thankful for that and happy for it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's it. I'm looking forward to what we have to come.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a great episode. Great pivot point as well.
Oh, yeah. So Angie ranked it 12 out of 10. And this was the one I wanted to put. She stood up at the end and applauded it.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Gotcha.
That's so cool.
All right. Well, cool beans, everybody. Thanks for joining us for this splendorific episode of Ahsoka. If you have not seen it, we just spoiled it all for you.
Well, if you didn't get from our titles and everything of these episodes that we are going to spoil this, then I don't know what you're watching.
It's all good. Oh gosh. All right, everybody. Well, real quick, please check us out at our website at www.2geeksmic.com, number 2 geeksmic.com. That is our hub for all things Two Geeks. So you can get to everything there. One of the things that's on there is our Two Geeks and a Microphone Pro Shop on the Fourth Wall. That's a lot. So go to our website and hit the link.
Sorry, I got to figure out a way. We got to do a thing to get a shorter link for that.
Yeah, just hit our website and hit the link there. Click, and then you can go see all of our merch. Excuse me. Which is pretty cool. If you want to get in contact with us, please use this our show, SHOW at 2geeks, number 2 GEEKSMIC, 2geeksmic.com. And it's you can email us if you have show ideas, you want us to talk about stuff, we can definitely would love to hear from you as well.
Awesome. And if you've made it this far, please go and like and subscribe to us on both Facebook and YouTube. For that matter, you can subscribe to us over on Twitter or X or whatever in the world they call that. Definitely though on YouTube, we're really trying to grow the YouTube thing, and make sure you subscribe so that you get notifications of every time we go live, which by the way, we go live on Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. You do the math for the rest. Steven shows up when I tell him to.
Something like that.
Or at least he tries to if he's awake.
That's correct.
I'm giving him a hard time this morning.
That's all good.
No, Steven does a good job of showing up when he can.
Ta-da!
All right. With that said, over and out. And wait a minute, I'm looking for my outro. There we go. I am one with the Force. The Force is with me. Thank you for joining us today on the Two Geeks and a Microphone podcast. Tune in next week when we will have more news and reviews. Until then,
may the Force be with you.